Today on Triple Threat Ace, we will be discussing the 10 commandments of the triple threat. The reason why the greats in scoring, like the Michael Jordans, the Kyries, the Kobes, the Carmelos, the Shays, the Jokic, all the Currys, part of what makes them such effective scorers is their triple threat game. Now, you can have, again, the best trainers, you can have the best boosties, you can have the best gear, you can have the best, whatever you believe that you have, that is the best. But without the proper mindset, how can you become a player that defenses fear? So we're going to dive into that today, because part of what's making basketball a sport that's hard to watch is we're missing the attacks off the dribble. Everyone's selling for threes, but one of the reasons why we're missing the attacks off the dribble is because it seems to be that the triple threat is a lost art that's being taught, from the youth on up. So we're going to talk about it today, specifically just the mental framework, because the triple threat is definitely an art and a science, and it can be challenging to master based upon the quality of basketball that we obviously seen in this day and age. But it doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're just starting out in basketball. This mindset, this mental framework that we're going to go over, these 10 commandments, are the basic building blocks for, the conversation you need to be having with yourself when you're out there on the basketball court come game day and it's time to go get some buckets. All right? So the good news is we're going to talk about, again, these 10 commandments, which will serve as a guide while you're on the basketball court to help you have a conversation with yourself that's going to help you become an offensive threat. All right? So on that note, again, we've looked at some of the greatest in the game, ladies and gentlemen, some of the greatest in the game. And based upon those notes, we've got 10 commandments now for triple threat. All right, so let's go ahead and walk on through these 10 commandments. And by the end of this, you will then have you will now have the mental framework of an elite scorer, so that come game day, you can go out there, dominate. You can go out there and be a player that defenses fear. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Triple Threat Ace, 10 Commandments, the mental framework of elite scorers. So first commandment, every defender is a green light. Literally. Why? Because they don't know what you're going to do, but you do know what they're going to do. The fundamentals of defense haven't changed as the game of basketball has evolved offensively. So once you understand what the basic fundamental principles of defense are, those are the areas that you'll be able to attack your defender at. And that's what makes every one of them a green light, no matter what they do. You always have a counter move to it. You always know what to do. Doesn't matter if they're big, doesn't matter if they're small, doesn't matter if they're quick, doesn't matter if they're slow. All that matters is they're a green light. So when you're out there on the basketball court and you catch the ball, all you see is 5 green lights at all times. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. All right? So be mindful. If the defender's hands are up, that's an opportunity for you to drive by them. If their hands are down, that's an opportunity for you to shoot over them. That's what makes every one of them a green light. No matter what they do, you have a counter move to it that is going to allow you to either get them off balance, get them out of position so you can get to your spot, create the separation, create the space that you need to go get a bucket. So number 1, every defender is a green light. Number 2, score in 3 dribbles or less. Now, in order for you to keep the defender on their heels, you have to attack them within the first 2 seconds that you get the ball. So The moment you catch it, you got 2 seconds to make a decision on how you'll get a bucket, whether you're getting all the way to the rack, whether you're getting to a spot for a mid-range, or you need to create some space and separation to get off a three. 2 seconds is all you have. And if you don't have nothing in 2 seconds, or you can't get a clean shot, get off the ball. Don't waste time. But understand that to become an efficient scorer, to really get out there on the basketball court and get buckets, you're going to have to make a move in 2 seconds or less. That's the only way to make it happen. That's the only way you can do it. That's why mastering the triple threat and mastering things like your 1 dribble, 2 dribble, 3 dribble pull-ups, as well as getting all the way to the basket in 3 dribbles or less is very important, because not only is it going to make you a more efficient scorer, it's going to allow you to score more points in the game. And it's going to make the game that much more simple for you. And then when you look back at your film, you're going to look back and be like, man, I was just doing the same move and was killing these cats. All right? So again, commandment number 2, score first in 3 dribbles or less. So again, you got 2 seconds to get to a spot or all the way to the cup in 2 seconds or less. And if you ain't got it in 2 seconds, get off the rock. So commandment number 2, score first in 3 dribbles or less. Commandment number 3, play low. Now this is a teaching point that is often overlooked and skipped, even if you're being taught the triple threat, because I just don't know. But this is, one of the most important components of playing in a triple threat is, again, playing low. Because when you catch the ball in triple threat, you want to catch it low with your hand already in shooting position, with the ball already ready to go. So you want to catch low, you want to pivot lower, and then you want to finish lowest. So go at the lowest point that you can, because as a rule of thought, as a rule of thumb, I should say, anytime your shoulders get past your defender's shoulders, or your shoulders get lower than the defender's shoulders, they're beat. They're cooked. Barbecue chicken, as some would say. But you just have to understand that. You got to know that. That's why playing low is important. The lower you play, the quicker, quote unquote, you'll become, and you'll realize, to be that much more easier to attack the rim, get to your spots for mid ranges, or just to create the space and separation you need for a 3-pointer. All right. So commandment number 3, play low. Commandment number 4, don't dance with the ball. So this is a problem that I notice a lot on the youth level. Back in the day when I coached, as well as when I'm just watching it, from the stands nowadays. But players, the youth players specifically, they'll get the ball, they'll beat their defender, then they'll retreat, allow the defender to recover, get back in front of them, and they'll just start dancing with the ball, dribbling. So again, basketball ain't about dribbling. The purpose of the game is to put points on the scoreboard and stop your opponent from putting points on the scoreboard. So if it ain't going towards you getting a bucket, if it ain't going toward, you stopping them, then it's wasted motion, wasted movement. All right. So again, if you're not going to be dancing, then what you going to be doing? What you're going to be doing is maintaining that triple threat position. So triple threat position can be maintained. You can have a stance when you're pivoting and you haven't dribbled yet, and you can also maintain triple threat stance when you're dribbling. So keep your stance while you're creating space and separation, so you can attack and make a play at all times. All right? So don't dance with the ball. Commandment number 4. Commandment number 5. Force your defender to change their stance. One of the biggest problems people have when it comes to getting by their defenders is they never utilize their foot fakes. They never utilize their shot fakes out of the triple threat to force the defender to change their stance so they can get by him a lot more efficiently and effectively. Because if you catch the ball, then you're doing weak fakes and you're not really making no movement. You're not really making it seem like the defender needs to take you seriously. They won't, and so nothing you do will make them get out of position or off balance. So that's gonna make it that much easier for them to score. Because again, always remember, when the defender is off balance and out of position, those microseconds, like that's when you have the advantage. So that's when you go, in those microseconds of times, those, inches in a sense, those footsteps. But when they're flat footed, not moving in position, that's when the defender is at advantage. So that's why you got to always make sure that you're forcing them to change their stance, especially when you're dribbling. That's how you get them up off you. If they're trying to press you, as well as just when you're dribbling downhill, trying to get to the rack. You know what I'm saying? Like, or just in open court trying to get by them. Make them change their stance because they're trying to make you change your stance. So again, you're on offense. So take the game to them. Be on offense. Attack them just like they're trying to attack you. All right? So give your a chance at beating your defender by using foot fakes and shot fakes to get your defender off balance and out of position so you can get by them off the dribble. So commandment number 5, force your defender to change their stance. Commandment number 6, read and go. Again, you got 2 seconds. So that's why when you're practicing, whether you're by yourself with your imagination or you actually have a partner, always focus on, game speed situations. So read and go. Like, again, don't dance, don't waste no time. You're out there to get buckets. And the more efficient you can get buckets, the more efficiently, I should say, you can get buckets, the more buckets you can get, which means the more points you can put on the scoreboard for your team, ultimately with the goal of leading to a win so you can move on to whatever, excuse me, so you can move on to whatever, position you guys are getting towards, whatever goal you guys are trying to get to. And in most cases, a state championship or a league championship or a NCAA championship or a pro league NBA championship, a Larry O, whatever it is, you know what I mean? And it all begins with you on the basketball court being able to read and go on offense, all right? So take what the defense gives you as opposed to trying to do specific moves. That's one of the areas of basketball that I'm noticing where a lot of, the youth specifically, that's where they run into problems, where they feel stuck on offenses because they're trying to do specific moves. I want to do a step back 3. So as opposed to taking what the defender gives them, they're trying to create a shot based upon a move that they just want to do. But again, they're the ones that end up out of position and off balance, and that's what leads to the turnover. So take what the defense gives you, read them, and then go, all right? So commandment number 6, read and go. Commandment number 7, strong ball handle equals strong drive. For whatever reason, ball handling is not taken seriously when it comes to basketball practice. But we see that those who do take it seriously are able to drive amongst the best of them. One of the first individuals that comes to mind is Kyrie. That ball's on the string. And what allows him to be able to do what he does out there on that basketball court, especially when it comes to a triple threat, is because he has that ball on the string. And so you need to work on your ball handling. So it's something that you can work on daily. You got 10 minutes a day to work on your ball handling. There's always something simple you can do. You can always do, your basic pound, cross, tweens, right in any flat surface, right on any flat surface that you have around you, right? So work on your ball handling, master your ball handling, get as good as you can in your ball handling so you can dribble through and out of any tough spot you find yourself on the basketball court. All right? And one last point about ball handling as well is, you want to make sure you get your handle tight so that, again, when you are in those clutch situations, when you are in those big moments, you feel that much more confident to deliver because you know that, you got a strong ball handle. All right? So commandment number 7, strong ball handle equals a strong drive. So work on your ball handling daily. Commandment number 8, basketball is a contact sport. We see a lot of basketball where, it's becoming a trend where, cats is begging the refs for fouls. But the reality is basketball is definitely a contact sport. So stop whining on offense. And again, start playing offense. Start taking the game to the defenders. Start becoming a player that defenses fear. And one of the ways you become a player that defenses fears is by initiating legal contact on offense first. So again, when you're in a triple threat, you're trying to get by them. The defenders want to reach. They want to put their hands on you. Use that offhand. Slap it away. When you look at basketball, when you're looking at film, as we'll talk about later, again, those are the details that you want to be paying attention to. Things like that, like how are they using their offhand when they're on the drive? How they're using their offhand off the triple threat. How they're using their offhand on the finish. All those types of things matter. So one form of legal contact you can initiate on offense is, when they do reach, when they do put their hand out there, when they do try to put their hand on you on the the hand check, put that wrist to their elbow. Put your offhand wrist to their elbow, and continue your drive, and use that as leverage to keep going and keep them off you and keep them away from you, but also too just to stay on your line so you can get a bucket. All right, so don't let them punk you. Don't let them push you around when you're out there. Just because they're on defense, you thinking that you gotta let them run up on you. No, that's why you want to be in a triple threat, because you keep the defender off balance, out of position, and trying to figure out what you were about to do. All right. So commandment number 8, basketball is a contact sport. Commandment number 9, do drills to build skills. Man, a lot of kids will say things like, I can do every drill in practice, but when it comes to the game, I can't get the move off. And even if they have defense in practice, when it comes to the game, they still can't get the move off. One of the reasons why is because they never learned how to get the move off. So they're doing all these drills and just going through the motions, as opposed to doing the drills and actually understanding what makes, the move work. Stance, positioning, space, separate, all that kind of stuff matters. And so when you're going through your workouts, don't just go through the motions. Don't just do the drills just to say that you did the drills. No, do the drills at game speed, focus and with focus and paying attention to the details of each rep, so that you can master the skill that you're trying to develop by doing this drill. And that's why you want to just focus on, when it comes to now, your decisive moves, your specific moves out of the triple threat to get a bucket. You want to just focus on, one drill, mastering one drill at a time per workout. All right. And so do drills to build your skills, not just to go through the motions. So triple threat mastery all boils down to you not just doing the drill again, doing the drills, but also to mastering the skills that the drill is teaching you. All right. Number 9, do drills to build skills. Last but not least, number 10, study film. So watch game footage of players playing out of the triple threat to become a better scorer. Pay attention to the details, stance, decisive moves, which moves they use based on what the defense gave them, etc. So again, pay attention to the details when you're watching sports. When you're watching the game of basketball, don't just watch just to say that you're watching the game, but actually, pay attention to what players are doing out of the triple threat, how they're using it. You'll start to notice that the game is real simple and basic when you start operating out of triple threat. You don't got to have all this, them crazy dribbles and crazy handles that you think that you might need to have in order to get busy out there on the basketball court. No, all you need is to master a triple threat, and then to go out there and make triple threat, scoring moves within 2 seconds or less. And then get into the cup in 3 dribbles or less for a layup, a mid-range, or a three-pointer. All right, and it's just that simple. So film study, film study, film study. Study the film, ladies and gentlemen. Study the film. Don't overlook this part. And the best part about studying film is, we have YouTube. So, we'll be doing reaction videos on triple threat scores. So you can watch those. But even the videos that we're going to be reacting to, watch those original videos, and again, pay attention, take notes. Watch it one time and just look at the footwork. Then watch it the next time, look at like how they were using their hands. Then, watch it the next time and look how like how they was getting their shots off. Then look how they was getting past the dribble. Look at their feet. Ankle on the drive. Again, shoulders. Like where was their shoulders at? How high or how low were they? Like pay attention to the details. Like that's what's gonna make you a better basketball player and allow you to become a player that defenses fear, because you were just so prepared when it comes to your triple threats, and you're ready to, like, again, read and go, and you're operating with this mental framework of an elite scorer to the point where you're just able to dominate offensively. All right. So now that we've covered the 10 commandments, what's next? So you can go ahead and master the art of triple threat and be able to score in 3 dribbles or less with the Triple Threat Ace Blueprint. So you can sign up for the blueprint at triplethreatace.com. And again, you'll get a training plan as well as modules that have videos within them, as well as text for you to read up and watch up. So you can obviously, again, learn the mindset that you need to have to become a triple threat ace, but also to the actual drills that you need to be doing to master the skills that you need to have. So come game day, when you step out there on that basketball court, you're the player that the defenses fear. All right? So feel free to hit me up if you have any questions. Looking forward to seeing you become one of those players that defenses fear. Peace.